All right, you guys, welcome back. How's everybody doing? Okay, we are going to sing this wonderful song about teaching peace. And we all need some more peace in our world. And the way that we could show peace to one another is just being kind. Simple as that, you guys. We can be kind to one another, kind to mom and dad, kind to your brothers, kind to your sisters. Okay? Kind and nice. That's how we can be peaceful. All right, here we go. Did you guys get your socks on yet? Crazy Socks Day, remember? We're gonna do a little bit of dancing like we were dancing yesterday, huh? Here we go. Uh-oh. Oops, sorry. Teaching peace all around. You and me, every city, every town. One by one in our work and in our play. We are teaching peace by what we do and what we say. It's up to us to show we care. Reaching out to everybody everywhere. Heart to heart and friend to friend. Circling all around the world and back again. Teaching peace all the world around. You and me, every city, every town. One by one in our work and in our play. We are teaching peace by what we do and what we say. Take my hand and come along. It's time to sing the world a brand new song. So sing it loud and sing it clear. All together now so everyone can hear. Teaching peace all the world around. You and me, every city, every town. One by one in our work and in our play. We are teaching peace by what we do and what we say. We are teaching peace by what we do and what we say. Sound off! 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. So take my hand and come along. It's time to sing the world a brand new song. So sing it loud and sing it clear. All together now so everyone can hear. Teaching peace all the world around. You and me, every city, every town. We are teaching peace by what we do and what we say. We are teaching peace by what we do and what we say. Teaching peace all the world around. You and me, every city, every town. One by one in our work and in our play. We are teaching peace by what we do and what we say. Teaching peace all the world around. You and me, every city, every town. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Reminds me of counting. How about we count by ones? You ready? How about we start with 43? Okay, and we'll count for a little bit. 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60. 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70. It's usually the 69, after you hit that 9, like saying the next number, that's usually the hardest. But I think most of you have got it, which is fabulous because it's the end of the year. All right, let's count by tens, okay? Here we go. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. How about let's count by 5 using our hands today. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, 95, 100. Perfect. We did them all, right? Yep, yep, yep. All right, today we have just a lot of review in math. All right, so let's go over our shapes, okay? We've got star, heart, oval, diamond, hexagon, pentagon, square, rectangle, triangle, and a circle. Okay? Name of all the shapes. You need to know your shapes. Okay? So if you don't know some of those, you need to learn your shapes. Okay? Math that you have the pages. I know there's 4 pages. I know it's kind of a lot. You could save a couple pages if you want to for next week. But it basically, between yesterday's pages and the pages today, it basically reviews everything, the major concepts that we learned about in math this whole entire year. Okay? So there's lots of different things that you could practice. We're going to practice some of them or just review some of them today. We can't do them all. And we just talked about some of the things like the length and the height and the weight of things. We just talked about that, so we're not going to touch on that too much today. But I did want to talk about greater than or less than. You do need to know that. So let's say I had these numbers here. Can you guys see them? Okay, so I've got the number 8 and the number 4, and let's just have the number 6, okay? And here, actually, you know what? Let's trade out the 6 with a 9. All right, can you see those? All right, so I've got 4, 8, and 9, okay? And here I've got the number 6. I got 6 nests, yeah. So I have 6. So when we talk about the word greater than and less than, we need to know that greater means what? Right, bigger, right? It's the bigger number, the greater. Think of like, you know, like the Incredible Hulk or something. It's got great big muscles. So greater means bigger, stronger, better, faster. Greater, okay? And then less than means what? Right, smaller or tinier, okay? So if I have the number 6, and I want you to take a look at these numbers back here and find what number back here is greater, or what numbers are greater than 6. What are we looking for? Right, we're looking for the numbers that are bigger than 6. I'm not going to use the word bigger because the math word that I want us to be working on that you need to know is the word greater. So what numbers are greater or bigger than 6? What numbers are greater? Is 4 greater than 6? No. Is 8 greater or bigger than 6? Yeah, it is. It is a bigger number. There's 8. Look, there's 8 fish right there, and there's 6 nests. So 8 is a bigger number. Now, how do you know? Did you count all the fish? Yeah? If we count the fish, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See, there's more, or there's a greater number of fish than 6, isn't there? Yeah. We also know there's other ways to know. There's also a way that you just know because when you count, 8 comes after you count to 6, right? So if you're counting, you say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? So see how 8 came after 6? So as the numbers go up, 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 as you continue counting, the numbers get bigger and bigger, 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 right? So you get to like a 100 million, okay? So you could know that way too. So everybody's brain works a little bit differently. But yes, 8 is definitely greater than 6. Okay, how about 9? Is 9 greater than 6? Yes, and for the same reasons we talked about 8 being greater, right? There's more kites. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's more kites there, isn't there? Okay, and also the number 9 comes after the number 6 when we're counting. So we say that 9 is greater than 6. Okay? All right, let's put that back there. What if I put this one back here and we talked about the number 8? Okay? Let's take a look at our numbers again. We've got 4, 6, and 9. This time I want you to find the numbers that are less than or littler, right, than 8. Which numbers are less than 8? Is 9 less than 8? No, because when we count, it comes after 8, so that would be greater than 8. That's a bigger number than 8, right? How about 6? Is 6 less than 8? Yeah, we just kind of talked about that, didn't we? When we said 8 was greater. If 8's greater than 6, then we say 6 is less than 8, right? So we just kind of talked about those a minute ago. What about 4? Is 4 less than 8? It sure is. Look at 8, actually. Look at, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 8 is a doubles of 4 plus 4. So you'd have to have 4 watermelons plus another 4 watermelons to make up 8. So 4 is definitely less than 8 or smaller than 8, right? And how do we know that? Yeah, because when you count, don't you hit 4 first? Watch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? 4 comes first when you're counting. So that number is smaller than when you get to 8. 8 comes way after 4. So those two words that you need to know, less and greater. Less means smaller and greater means larger or the bigger number. Okay, so that's one thing, okay, I wanted to talk to you about today. So the other thing that we need to be mindful of is how we sort, right? We've been talking about, last week we talked a lot about sorting and different ways to sort, right? We talked about sorting by size, we talked about sorting by shape, and we talked about also sorting by color. Okay, so if these shapes, okay, are sorted, I've already sorted them. Okay, who can tell me what rule did I use? I've got these shapes over here, and then these shapes over here. How did I sort the shapes today? Or at least right now. I'm going to show you another one in a minute. Yes, I'd sort them by size. Okay, so I have the smaller shapes on this side, and the larger shapes are over here on this side. Okay, so I sorted by size, right? And then so if I had this shape right here, okay, where would this go? Would it go with the smaller shapes or the larger shapes? Right, this shape would belong right over here with these shapes here because it is smaller, okay? So if I wanted to sort by size, this triangle would go with these other shapes because they're all small. These ones over here, all large, okay? So take a look at these shapes, okay? How did I sort these shapes? Not by size, right? I don't have little ones and big ones because look at some of there's little ones here and a big one here. What did I do that time? This time. Yeah, I sorted it by shape, didn't I? So over here we have all the squares and over on this side we have all the rectangles, right? So I sorted by shape. Now what if I had this shape here? Where's this going to go? Yeah, it's a rectangle, so it would have to go over here with the other rectangles, and it kind of doesn't fit, does it? I'll move that down. So the rectangles would go there together with the other rectangles. Okay, so sorting. Sorting is something that, another concept that you need to know, and that's easy to practice, okay? Remember a lot about laundry. You can always sort by color, right? You don't really need to sort by size, right? Doesn't matter if you have dad's big jeans or your little jeans, okay? You can put all the jeans together, right? So you can help sorting laundry this summer, all summer long. I bet your parents won't mind. Go ask them. I'm sure they won't mind. Now, actually turning on the washer machine, that might be an issue. You might need to wait till you turn into a teenager. I don't know, ask your mom and dad, but you could help sort laundry, I know for sure. One thing I want to make sure you guys remember is when you're counting, it's important that, like, let's say I have to count all these circles and you're like looking, I'm going, whoa, I don't know how many there are. Right, so if you just start counting like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, you might lose track of which ones you counted and which ones you didn't count. And when we're doing math, in counting, it's really important that we're precise, right? That we're exact, because there's no like, oh, it's almost 10 or something like that, right? I think there's almost 10 circles there. No, it's an exact number. And so you're either going to be right or you're going to be wrong. So the easiest thing to do is to cross them out, okay? Even more so than just putting your finger on them, because again, you're not going to know which ones you counted and which ones you didn't. So when you're counting like a bunch of objects like this, okay, you want to count and cross it out as you count it and say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, okay? All right, and that's the easiest thing to do. Make sure you cross them out so you keep track of which ones you counted and which one you didn't. You have to have some kind of like order so that you don't miss any, okay? Make sure you get them all. All right, I want you to take a look at this graph behind here, okay? You do need to know how to read graphs. That's another concept that we learned about in math this year, okay? So when you look at a graph like this at the top, I have stars and hearts. You do not, oh, do you guys see that? Okay, I'm gonna fix that up there. Graphing. All right, so you have stars and hearts. When you count, like let's say I wanna know how many stars were there, you do not count this star here. You only count the stars starting inside the graph here. This just tells me what my graph over here, it just tells me what the graph is about. This graph is about stars and hearts, okay? Maybe what shapes do we like the best? And I asked a bunch of kids in the class, okay? How many kids like stars? Well, we count in here, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm not going to count like using this because these are a nice order. If I start from left and count till I get to the right and put my finger on each one, that's a safe way of counting and making sure. So you can go 1, 2, 3, 4. Can I cross them out? Sure, I could, but you really don't need to when it's so organized in a 10 frame like this, okay? So we got 4 stars, and then how many kids liked hearts? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kids liked hearts. Okay, so again, this is just what the graph is about, okay? Over here tells actually how many kids like the star, how many kids like the heart. Don't make the mistake and count these as well, okay? All right, that's a little tidbit on that. Okay, down at the bottom, I want to know which of these shapes show different ways to make the number 5, okay? So there are different ways to put together numbers, okay? And it's really addition. Is really what it is. So take a look at the first one. Is this a way to make the number 5? Well, what we can do is we just can count, right? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that a way to make the number 5? Yes. And what did we do? Well, we had 2 squares and we had 3 triangles. And we counted them all up. And yes, that is a way to make 5. 2 plus 3 equals 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we could write the equal sign if we wanted to and just make up our whole addition sentence there. Is this going to be a way to make 5? Well, let's see. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 squares. Is that a way to make 5? It sure is. How many squares do we have? 5 plus, how many triangles do we have this time? 0. Okay, and how many is that all together? Right, that is 5. So it still is a way to make 5. How about down here? We have 1 square and 2 triangles. All together, 1, 2, 3. So that's 1 square plus 2 triangles is 1, 2, 3. Is that a way to make 5? No, this is not a way to make 5. Okay, let's go over here. I've got 1 square and 1, 2, 3, 4 triangles. Is that a way to make 5? Well, you count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, it is. So 1 square plus 4 triangles is 5 shapes altogether. Okay, so that's another way to make 5. How about here? We've got 1, 2, 3 squares and 1 triangle. 1, 2, 3, 4 shapes altogether. Is that a way to make 5? No. So 3 squares plus 1 triangle only equals 4. So this is not a way to make 5. How about down here at the bottom one? We have 1, 2, 3, 4 squares, okay, plus how many triangles? 1. And what does that equal? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that a way to make 5? It sure is, okay? So there are different ways, and you could practice this on your own with a piece of paper and just pick a number. Let's say you pick the number 7 and come up with different ways to make that number. Just make sure you have 2 different parts. Like I had squares and triangles. You could use hearts and stars, or you could use circles and squares, or whatever. You just have 2 different parts. Or maybe you have red crayons and blue crayons, okay? And see how many different ways that you could make a number, like the number 6, the number 3, any number. Up to 10 is great, okay? All right, that's practice, some things you can practice on your own. All right, so that's about it for math. I know it's a lot, but we worked on a lot this year. You learned a lot of things this year. So today's Friday, and next week is our last week of school. Remember, you rock your socks today. And again, I'm going to put out a message, but if you want to work on whatever you want to work on next week, I will make a special video for you, and we will just work on review. If we want to read books, or we want to sing some of those songs, or we want to do a little bit more math review, maybe addition and subtraction, whatever it is you want to do, have your parents let me know, or you let me know. Have your parents type me a little text and say, hey, you know, Allison would like to work on this, or Aranza would like for you to talk about this a little bit more. So whatever it is, and we'll talk about it next week, okay? All right, you guys take care. Have a good night. Rock your socks, and happy Friday. And we'll talk to you soon. We'll talk to you on Monday, okay? If we don't see you during the meetings. Okay, because I'm going to meet with you guys at 12 and then at 12:30. Okay? All right, take care. Bye.